should have intercom.
There we go. I got you 5x5.
Perfect.
So.
White Cessna, short final, Casa Grande.
1,600 hours on it. Sprag clutch is getting a little tired. It just started doing that. So
did it? Okay. Yeah, so the airplane we're about to go fly in is the Kitfox STI for STOL inspired.
Series 7 Super Sport is really what it's based off of.
Okay.
Which our Super Sport, as you know, has been around for quite some time and it's been successful. We constantly have people asking if they're taking off shorter and landing shorter and stuff like that, so we developed this, which is the STI, stands for STOL Inspired. Goes on a stock Series 7 fuselage. So the fuselage is exactly the same as our Series 7, just a different wing.
Okay.
The wing is retrofittable.
How's the wing different?
Yep. Well, it's retrofittable into the fleet, so it can be put on earlier models as well. It can also work to where a guy can have a Series 7. He can have the best of both worlds and have both wings if he wanted to, and take one off both at once.
Okay, that's cool.
The wing's still full.
How long would that process take for somebody who went, I want it both ways?
I'll bet you can do it in a day.
Okay.
Easy enough. Probably less than a day if you had help, had another person, you can get them on there.
Okay.
It's nice in the fact that this airfoil is a completely different airfoil. It's a longer cord, thicker wing.
Okay.
Again, it was developed specifically for the STOL side of it, so we've actually lowered our stall speed by 10 to 15 miles an hour.
Oh, wow.
Off our Series 7. We've shortened the distance by about 50% of our Series 7, which, as you know, the Series 7 already landed plenty short.
Yeah, right. It's always been a quick get off the ground airplane, so.
And this one was, we kept getting asked, the guys that want to take off and land in their backyard or do things like that, and, while that's maybe not the best choice in the world, because you always got to be flying your A game when you're asking yourself to land in a couple hundred feet.
Yeah, sure.
If that's all you have to work with.
Yeah, that's really short, so. Okay, so forward visibility, you got to do the tail dragger waggle. And that's partly because of the big tires on it, which is part of the STI program, right?
It is, but to get the short takeoff profiles and everything else, you have to have the wing at critical angle of attack.
Okay. So this airplane in the STI configuration is not available with smaller tires then, because it wouldn't give the angle of
correct.
Of incidence, I guess it would be at that point.
Correct. You can still use our Grove gear. You just need to put the 26-inch and 29-inch tires on. This has the 29-inch tires.
These are 29s,
yep.
Okay.
Final for runway 5, Casa Grande, full stop.
And whose tires are they?
Alaska
okay.
Bush wheels.
Okay. They seem to pretty much own that market.
Yes, they do.
Looking good again. I'm following down the controls again. Stick full forward. Start off the runway right in front of the camera.
314 Delta Whiskey, entering the 45, 2 miles out.
Now we do have this prop is actually set more of a compromise. It's not set for maximum takeoff, and it's not set for maximum cruise.
Okay. So if you were operating out of those 200-foot strips you mentioned earlier, you'd dial the prop in a little bit differently.
A little bit flatter. You give up the cruise for the takeoff.
Right.
The wing will do the job. It's all thrust at that point.
So as we cruise out low here, we're just a few hundred feet off the ground. It's fun to fly. And we're currently showing about coming up on 90 knots, a hair short of 90 knots right traffic. So we're flying along pretty good at a low altitude, and with, let's see, we're in power. There we are. Okay, we're at the
about 53, 50.
About 53 or so, huh?
6 Hotel Sierra, turning downwind.
Don't get a little choppy just now. It's going to get warm in here. This has custom handles in it. The builder can do this if they want to. It's not part of the kit. But what's nice, if you grab that handle and open it up just a little bit and slide it out and then relatch it. So just open it up.
Oh, I see, to grab it on the...
Yep, just open it up just a little bit and then relatch it. There's a little cut. You'll bring it back closer a little bit more, open a little more, right there.
Oh, I got it, okay.
And then relatch it all the way down 90 degrees. Now, one of the neat things about the Kitfox, I'm sorry?
I said I must, oh, there it is. Okay, I got it in there now.
Yep.
Oh, yeah, no, that's really a nice feature.
It's almost instant air conditioning.
Yeah, and you know what? It doesn't block anything. It feels kind of good, but it's still nice and secure.
Yep.
Runway 05, Casa Grande.
And of course, with the Kitfox, as you are aware as well, one of the nice things about the Kitfox is, if you really want to just out here and you're playing around, and let's just, we're going to kind of lumber around here a little bit. I'm going to slow it down. And if you notice, the angle of attack starts to come into play.
Okay. Yeah, so let's watch that angle of attack here for a moment. Right now we're seeing the greens, at least I guess they're green, they're yellows. These glasses I've got on kind of color things a little differently, so we're seeing yellows. Now you're seeing some of the donuts start to show up.
And you'll get into the bottom half of the green donut, which is you're just slightly above best angle. Slightly below best angle.
Slightly below, okay, yeah, below. The bottom half of the donut is below best angle.
Yep, and then if you go to a solid donut, for example, if you're going to fly an approach, and you just wanted to use the AOA, what you would do is pick up both greens.
Okay, we're watching for the both greens there. Okay, I saw the top one blink for a second, and John refers to that as the donut right here by where my finger's pointing.
Yep. And that's usually going to be about your best glide.
Okay.
Okay. Which, if you notice, is about
so 40. Bottom half, best angle, top, full donut is best glide.
Pretty much,
yep. Is that about it? Okay.
Yep. And if you set it up just about right, if you notice that the full donut on the approach, we're sitting at about 43 miles an hour.
Okay, yep. There's the miles per hour if we got that captured.
3,500, we're going to do one more.
Yeah, nice and slow.
Yep. And I can actually slow it down and go to full flaps and still maintain that, and we'll get down to about 40. And notice that the donut is sitting there at about 40. And here we're at the top half of the donut, bottom half of the donut. A little bit of a red, so you get a little bit of a flash.
Yeah, okay, yep.
Okay.
Okay, and right there in the center is the joystick, which is a push detent. And how many settings do you have?
And this one we only have 2. And again, the builder can build one and put an extra notch in there, which I've done in some airplanes.
Okay.
Which is nice if you're flying with slower aircraft. You can put a half notch in, changes the pitch angle down, changes the center of pressure on the wing, and it makes it more enjoyable. So you keep your forward visibility and you can still slow down.
Excellent.
Instead of having a high angle of attack.
So again, the beauty of home building. Now you do make the, I don't know this one, but the entire line, or at least the Super Sport, I know for sure, is SLSA capable. So you can build that one completely for somebody that
is
says,
correct.
Hey, I'm not really into that. I just want to fly or whatever. And so you could do that. But you also offer, well, which of the models do you offer in SLSA?
The Series 7 Super Sport is the SLSA aircraft.
Okay.
That is our special light sport. It's really the best of all the worlds. You know, you get very, very good cruise. We cruise in the 120 to 125 range, and the SLSA is true. Your stall speed's around 42 miles an hour, and that's what it was designed for. It's kind of a great all-around airplane. Takeoff and landing distances in the 300 feet range if you really want to. You can get them shorter than that if you want. If you're getting proficient.
With some built-up technique.
Yep. Technique and proficiency.
Yep.
And all that. One of the other nice things about the Kitfox that I've always enjoyed is the fact that you can just open the doors and fly. So, it really makes the visibility really nice if you're just kind of lumbering around having a good old time.
Well, I got to do that because I'm an old phone guy. Now you can do both sides at once?
Yeah, you can do both sides at once.
All right.
Absolutely.
And I noticed you just let her go, so I'm going to just let her go like that. Got to show that because, some of us that are old ultralight guys just love that kind of thing. So feel the wide open air here. That's great stuff.
And the funny part about when the doors are open, and a lot of people say, well, doesn't it affect the flight? I said, well, as long as you keep the ball in the center, no, because if you do this, you get a lot more wind in your face.
Yeah, sure. Well, yeah, and the beauty of that is you don't need the ball.
That's right.
You got the wind to tell you what's going on.
Grande left traffic 5.
Okay, I'm going to put that down for a moment. Yeah, sweet. I mean, I know that's not for everybody, but for some of us, that's a very precious thing to be able to have. Let the air come on in and let me feel it.
It's awesome.
I mean, this is what we're out in, so let's enjoy it,
That's right.
You don't have to be all closed in all the time. Although, if you're going for a long distance, obviously this would add some fatigue, some extra noise, and so, sure, I understand why not everybody wants it.
Well, if a person wants to, if they're just going to be doing this all the time, pull the doors off.
Take them off, huh? So that looks like just a couple of bolts up here in the top.
Actually, if you're going to do it all the time, you change the roll pin on the hinge for a safety pin. And you just pull the safety pins, disconnect this, you have the doors off in a minute.
Perfect. And
just grab this right in the center. Go slightly up. There you go.
Okay. Yeah, that's nice and solid. I kind of didn't want to yank on that too hard at first, but obviously it's a nice sturdy piece. So.
Yeah. And usually what I'll tell folks is put your hand forward. Just slide it forward so you're pulling more against it.
Yeah, that would make sense actually. Let me take it for a little while, then we'll go up a bit and we'll do a little bit of...
You got the airplane.
All right. Now, there's that sweet Kitfox feel. Now, I remember I flew with Dan Denny, and you know how long ago that was. And that was in an earlier Kitfox, I want to say a 4. So that was some time ago. And that was a little more to handle in those days. You've done some work. I mean, this is just solid. it's still got that really nice, snappy, and I'm not even doing it fast here, but very nice and responsive Kitfox feel that I've remembered and heard about from just everybody who has one. But in the early days, they had, I think, a smaller tail on them. You've done some work over the years that kind of basically made it handle like this. I mean, here, hands off. I'm not doing anything. There's some bumps out here today. And by the way, where's trim?
Trim is right here. It's electric trim. It's just a surf.
So it's a tilt switch forward and back.
Yep.
Okay. All right. Well, here's a road. Let's see if I can do any decent S-turns across a road. That's a typical student maneuver, but it usually shows something.
Well, I can feel you're on the rudders already, which is always a good thing, because a lot of times, you know, adverse yaw is always a trick.
So would you describe this as a rudder airplane, that you need to use rudders in order to make a coordinated turn?
Well, what you'll find as you're doing this right here is that you basically, for a right turn, you're going to lead a little bit with rudder and then come off it, and into a left turn, you'll need very little rudder.
Yeah, I was already overusing a little bit on the right, and to the left, I was probably underusing a little bit. So exactly what you said, I just wasn't doing it quite right.
What you'll find when you go to the right turn is right turn and lead with a little bit of the rudder, and then you'll have to come off the rudder or you'll overdo it. And then when you go to the left turn, you barely have to use the rudder.
And that is a function of a P factor in the airplane.
P factor and torque, yep.
6 Hotel Sierra, flattest P3.
And part of the reason that the stability in the airplane, as far as being rock solid, the length of the fuselage is longer than a 4, so you gained a little bit there. The weight and balance, the engine is further out on this one than a 4. And that allows us for larger baggage areas, larger payloads, larger carrying capabilities. But it also adds to the comfort and the balance of the airplane, just the overall control harmony and control feel. Well, if you think about it, us sitting it side by side, we're both not small men.
Yeah, no.
And you basically have, it's wider than a 172.
Okay, now let me try this the other way. Let me look here first, make sure there's nobody playing down here with us.
Here, clear right.
Yep, and then once I get that wing down a little bit, I got that glorious view out to the right, through the skylight.
Through the skylight,
and to the back. You know, there's, except for the baggage area and the engine, I could see pretty much every direction I would want to see in this airplane.
The visibility in the Kitfox is one of the best in the industry. You've got, I mean, it's almost the equivalent of one of the, what do they call the helicopters, the Hueys that had the full bubbles on them.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that's kind of the standard comparison. You see pretty well in those too. But so as I initiated that turn, I wasn't paying as much attention. So what I did was I just kind of tapped on the right rudder, and the ball came right back in the center pretty nicely. So a couple of 720 steep turns around a point. Not really around a point. I'm not trying to make that particular move. But
well, it's around a point.
It's around some point. Yes. There's a center of the circle I'm turning, that's much for sure.
Skydivers in the air.
Well, sweet, very easy. And stick motions, stick pressures. Probably don't have it trimmed quite right for this steep turn, so I'm pulling back a little bit, but just, I don't know, maybe 2 pounds, something like that, not much. And left-right pressures are, wow, almost nothing. So again, maybe 3 or 4 pounds, something like that. Not very much. Let's go up a little bit, John, and show me some stalls.
Okay, good. Power up.
All right.
On final, we'll follow that traffic in.
Nose up. Go about 55 would be best angle.
All right.
You can run 60 if you want. That's fine.
Okay, coming back. There's that half donut.
That'll be just about right. Just stay right about there.
We've been doing about, without really trying, without pushing too hard here, we're doing 700-800 feet a minute. How much fuel we got on board?
We're almost half tanks.
Half tanks, okay.
Which, by the way, is 13 gallons, 14 gallons.
So it's 26, 27 gallons full?
Yep, 27 gallons
and then
full,
they're split side to side?
Yep.
Okay.
Did we get past the approach end of runway 5? We'll be turning base here in about 5 seconds.
Roger, 7 Bravo Golf, and we're just abeam the north. Yeah, as I do this, I'm learning I need to use the rudder, but I now don't need to overuse it.
Right.
I'm overusing it a little bit, so. But it's very cooperative. I mean, if somebody who hadn't flown the airplane for a while can do this that quickly, it shows it's a well-coordinated airplane. Okay, we've gone up to some altitude now. We're sitting at 2,500 feet. That's indicated. I think that puts us, what, about $1,000 off the ground?
About 1,000 off the ground, yep.
Are you comfortable doing stalls at that altitude?
Oh, we can do a stall there. Yeah,
okay.
Straight ahead stall is fine.
Okay.
Easiest way to do that is just to bring your power back to an idle, hold your altitude.
We're starting at 24, so.
Yep, just hold your altitude. Keep wings level. And you're down below 80, let's go ahead and introduce 1 notch of flaps. And I will be here on the controls with you.
Alrighty.
And don't accelerate it, just go ahead and hold your altitude.
There's the blinking lights telling me I'm there.
There he is.
That wasn't much. Nope. A little bit of nose down. Let's do it a little more aggressively.
Well, don't get too aggressive this low to the ground.
Snap the track for traffic. Oxford 571 is...
It broke. It's not even a fast break, and there was no tendency for the wing to tip. Either direction.
Stanfield traffic.
You've got good control, Dan. I fly with a lot of people.
Yes, sir. Nobody else has replied to me at the moment, so I'll be top of stack at 3,500.
Well, I always tell people, you know, pilot of many, master of none.
That's right.
So,
go ahead and bleed your flaps off whenever you're ready.
I'm going to climb back up now so we can try that. What are you comfortable with power on stall?
Power on stalls are just bizarre in an airplane like this anyway.
I'm guessing.
But if you want to do power on, let's go up to about 4,000 feet.
Okay.
You'll get 7,800, and again, this is a stock 100 horsepower Rotax 912 ULS engine.
Right. Okay. So this is a dual carb engine then.
And it's got 1,600 hours on it, so it's not a new one.
What kind of numbers are we? We've been climbing now consistently for a while.
180 on the oil. I'm sorry, not even 180 on the oil. Water's 180, and pressure's running about 40, 30, 35.
Temperatures. I mean, we're not hardly even warming it up by doing this. So must have good airflow through the engine compartment.
Does real well.
Checking around.
You're clear right.
I don't see anybody. Clear left. Okay.
And the other thing that you'll notice too, during that climb, we've got the prop set. You're not even getting full RPM on the climb.
Ah, okay.
So, I just hold that there. You're sitting at 1,200 feet a minute.
You were behind the RV, it looks like.
Yeah, that was at 1,200 feet a minute. Was at about 50 knots indicated. Of course, now I can feel it. I can feel vibration in the stick. That's my first clue. Is hey.
Like I said, it's ridiculous. How do you get here?
Yeah, right. Okay,
there's your stall.
Indications on. I guess that's about it.
That's it.
Well, that's not too exciting either, but that's what we like. Not too exciting. Well, since I'm up here this high, now that we use that much fuel to get up here, let's back it all the way off and see what its descent rate is.
Okay. And again, what you want to do is get both donuts.
Both donuts?
Yep. So don't even worry about the airspeed. Just go ahead and ease your power back. Let's leave it right there for a minute. Let's let things stabilize for a second.
Yeah,
we were in a hard climb for a while.
We were. Let it cool off a little bit.
And go ahead and hold your altitude because you'll be able to hold it. Let's not give it up just yet. And we do want to watch out. We're coming up to Class Bravo airspace.
Okay. Well, why don't I make a turn here?
Yeah, we are below it. I believe we're below that that shelf. So.
Yeah, let's don't mess with it here. We'll go off to the left. That'll get us out of it, right?
Yeah, 8,000. Yeah, exactly. Get us out of it, and it's 8,000. So we're plenty below it.
We're well.
Okay, go ahead and start bleeding your power back and set up your descent.
We departed to the northeast, Custer.
Yeah, it'll give me a chance to kind of feel slow flight handling as well.
You bet.
Kilo at midfield left.
So we're now showing about 58 knots. We got half a donut.
Yep, pulling 1 notch of flaps.
1 notch of flaps.
Actually, if you're going to check descent rate, don't.
Yeah, no.
Because best glide, you don't want flaps.
Yeah, so we want a double donut. We want a full donut. You call it for that.
Yep.
Okay, we're full back. We got a donut, and we are now seeing. Well, steady on 500.
Yep.
And the speed is 50 miles an hour. And look at that. We still got plenty of roll. Got to use quite a bit more rudder now at this.
Yes.
Of course, that makes sense. You don't have a lot of prop blast going by the tail. But
I extended my downwind to the copper mine, so go ahead and make the landing. I'll go in number 2, 03X, right?
RV6, 4 Delta Kilo on short final runway.
But the handling is real good. I lost the double donut there. I let the nose drop through a little bit, but and indeed, when I do, the vertical speed is coming right back up again. So it's actually quite a slow descent, which is another sign how hard that wing is working.
Yep.
In fact, there's double donut, and we are at about 400.
And just retrim. Retrim it for the take the pressures off it. You should be able to trim it with pressure hands off.
03 X-ray on 2 miles.
We're pretty close to it.
Runway 5, Cascade.
That's good to use that trim too. It's nice, smooth trim. You can feel the effects right away. But so there we are. We're at about 50 or 48 knots. We're below 400. We're 450 feet a minute.
Traffic Whiskey left across.
Sweet.
Departing runway 5, and we'll be departing to the northeast.
I got to find something to pick about the airplane, and I'm going to have to really look hard to do that. I don't know what I'd say, actually.
Runway 5, the Cascade.
All right, let me lower the nose a little bit here. We'll come back in with some power. And this particular altimeter is not marked for flap speed. So what are the flap speeds?
Flap speed's 80 miles an hour.
80 miles an hour. 80 miles an hour or not?
80 miles an hour is flap speed.
Okay. Oh, actually, all those numbers I've been quoting, those have been miles an hour. I read knots earlier, but that's the inner dial. So the outer dial, those have all been miles an hour, all the numbers that we've been referencing. So that makes them even slower.
It's slower, correct. Cascade traffic, Kitfox 1 Kilo Alpha, 5 miles to the south, finding midfield crossing for left downwind, 23 Cascade.
So we'll just hold this altitude as we cross, I presume?
Yep, 2,500 feet. Okay. 23 is fine. I actually like to be a little low if I can help it, just because of the other traffic.
Yeah, right. Well, they see you better that way. So.
And do keep your head on a swivel, because it's...
You bet. We're coming into some traffic. So.
Yep, and it's been busy, although the radio's been fairly quiet.
Let's see. I've got it probably a little slow on the RPM, but we're at 46 right now or so, and that's producing 80 miles an hour. So for me, this would be a very comfortable speed to be flying around, just to have fun. If you're going somewhere, okay, so we didn't do that with speed. So if you were going to, all right, I got to get somewhere with this particular airplane, where would you set the power? What speeds would that produce?
Well, you can run 5,500 RPM all day, and the way this prop is set is I'd run it right up to about 54.
Okay.
And the airplane, as equipped right now, will true out at 98 miles an hour.
Okay. And if you said, well, you know, I got the STI, and I like the fact that it gets off the ground quick, but I do want the max speed I can get when I am cross country. How could you set the prop?
05 for a straight out departure. Cascade traffic.
Okay, go ahead.
How would you set the prop up, and what would that?
Well, I would coarsen it, and you would probably increase your takeoff distance by 50 feet, 100 feet, or whatever, and you'd probably be truing out in the 110 range. Cascade traffic, Kitfox 1 Kilo Alpha, 1 mile, planning midfield crossing for left downwind, runway 5. We have the departing traffic.
Anyway, can you have the SLSA Super Sport tail dragger or nose wheel?
That is correct.
Okay, so you can go both ways as the fully built if they want it that way.
That is correct.
And
with a 914, 912 ULS or the 912 IS.
Okay. And what kind of, if you wanted to max out the cruise capability of the Super Sport, what would you tell somebody to buy?
Honestly, I would first ask them, do they need to be light sport legal?
Okay.
And if they need to be light sport legal, then I would say you can get true airspeeds of 120 to 130. And if you course up the pitch and you're mainly going for cruise speed, you can get 130 true.
Okay. And that's miles an hour.
Yep. And if you were to turn around and you're not interested in light sport, it doesn't matter. I'd put the constant speed Airmaster prop on it, and you'd be able to see the best of both worlds. You'd maintain your takeoff distances and high performance there, and you'd also see your cruise speeds, in the 120, 130 range very easily.
Okay. So then you get them both.
Cascade traffic, 1 Kilo Alpha, left downwind, runway 5, full stop.
Okay, so here I am. I'm just past the numbers. We're sitting at 2,000 feet. We're currently at about 70 miles an hour.
And what you're going to want to do is remember the green donuts. Set up for the green donuts.
Okay.
And you're going to fly your donuts. And obviously, you remember the old adage, pitch your airspeed. So you're going to pitch the donuts, and you're going to power your altitude, correct?
Right.
Okay. So you set up. Once you below 80, pull in 1 notch of flaps.
4 mile, final runway 5 for low approach only and departing to the northeast.
1 Kilo Alpha, left base, runway 5, full stop, Casa Grande.
Casa Grande, Oxford 571, overhead in a right turn back to...
You got a lot of runway, so just let it roll out. So,
Okay.
but target for your double donuts, get yourself stable. You got 1 notch of flaps, you're good. And we'll just go ahead and do the landing with 1 notch of flaps. I may have you introduce both of them, but we'll see here in a minute how you set up.
All right.
Okay? Go ahead and slow it down, get your double donuts.
There's one.
Yep. Keep the power in just a little bit. There you go, that's perfect. Just let it settle right there.
Okay.
And Seneca 690 is now about a 2-mile final, runway 5, looking for the Kitfox.
Ball in the center.
There we go.
Yep. Kitfox is over the numbers, full stop, runway 5, cross ground. A little high, be a long landing. Okay, a little bit more power.
Okay, thanks. So Seneca 690.
More power, more power, more power. Your descent rate's pretty high. Keep the double donuts in there. I'm going to introduce your other notch of flaps, okay?
All right.
Just watch your descent rate. So you got both notches of flaps. I'm going to bring back the trim.
Will be over at
Ball in the center.
at 4,500.
Just keep that rate going. Nope, don't pull up. Keep it going. Don't pull up. Remember, power your descent. Now start your round out. Start your round out. Back. Power off. Power off. Pull it back. Pull it back. There it is.
All right. Very good.
Yep. Now the one thing you got to watch is that descent rate, because the only thing that'll arrest the descent rate is power.
Yeah, I can't see where our turn is.
Oh, it's way ahead.
Okay. Okay, I'll give it back to you so you
I got
handle
the
it properly. Airplane is yours.
The Copperstate Fly-In has been bringing aviation enthusiasts in the southwest US together since 1973. This year we are thrilled to be hosting the Copperstate Fly-In at the Buckeye Municipal Airport, KBXK, in conjunction with the Buckeye Airfair. The dates for the fly-in are February 8, 9 and 10, 2019. We anticipate that the 2019 Copperstate Fly-In will break all of our previous attendance records. Admission and parking to the 2019 Copperstate Fly-In and Buckeye Airfair are free, including the 2-hour air shows, beginning at noon, Saturday and Sunday. So make sure to join us for a weekend of free fun for the entire family. See light sport aircraft, experimental aircraft, ultralights, vintage and military aircraft, as well as action-packed demonstrations. Visit the many educational forums, aircraft displays, youth activities, or one of the over 100 vendors. Copperstate Fly-In Inc. is a volunteer-run, non-profit organization dedicated to promoting recreational and general aviation through events, scholarships, and public education. Proceeds from the Copperstate Fly-In help support scholarship programs for youth seeking careers in the aerospace industry. Copperstate is the largest fly-in of its type in the western United States and the 4th largest fly-in in the U.S. We look forward to seeing you, February 8 to 10, 2019, at the Buckeye Municipal Airport, 3000 South Palo Verde Road, Buckeye, Arizona.